This is stage 4. Part of prepping the document to be sent to the printers is running a spell check on it. The first thing we want to do is go to Edit, check our preferences, make sure that our dictionary is the English USA. We have a whole bunch of other things it could be, and sometimes it can get shifted a little bit. You wouldn't need to use legal or medical terms, so just double check to make sure that you're on the correct dictionary. We're going to put an insertion point in the ARAA, and I'm going to go to Edit and Spelling and check spelling. Now, I've already got some things that got edited into my dictionary. So I'm going to go into dictionary here and specify that I want this dictionary to go to this newsletter itself. So I'm going to say done with that, just because this is specifically to this particular newsletter. Now, in your book, the ARAA is not added, so you would go ahead in there and say to add that to your dictionary. I'm going to start this again, go back to the ANDT, and that needs to be split. If you look, the word was highlighted, and you can see from the text it was supposed to be and the. So I will put my space in there and tab over, delete the extra space in between the T and the H, and that's corrected. Now, the problem is if I just try to continue, I can't, because I went in and made an edit in the document, so the spell checker thinks that I'm done. I'm not done. I'm going to start over again. So back at the beginning I'm going to put in start, and the next word that comes up is undocking, which is perfectly fine, so I'm going to skip all of that. Redocking. You can skip through the items that you know are spelled correctly. LMs is something that it recurs. LM itself, I accidentally added that earlier when I was running through this, and I can't find a way to delete it, so I am going to add LMs also to my dictionary. I am putting that into my newsletter dictionary, not into the general, and select add. Then done. And now I can skip this, and any other time it comes up it should be fine. Instruments is misspelled. All I need to do is select the word instruments and say change, use the correct spelling. Seismicity, I believe that's supposed to be correct, so I'm simply going to skip that. History.nasa.gov is correct, as is the next one. Okay, so ARAA is supposed to be in the dictionary. Somehow it didn't pick it up, and so I want to add that to my dictionary as well. I'm going to add this to my newsletter dictionary and say add, done. And if I skip over that, air park is good, skip that. Go through and work the rest. Oh, heritage is misspelled, so I'm going to select the correct spelling and say change. Skip, skip, skip the proper names. Let's hope that changed it correctly. I'm going to go back in and start again. Whoops. I missed heritage. Somehow it didn't save it. So let me go back in here. Start again. Okay, I seem to be in some kind of never-ending loop here, but everything now should be done. You actually should come up and get a notification that everything is complete, that all of this has been checked, but for some reason, like I said, everything on mine seems to be stuck in this never-ending loop. Spell check complete, done. Okay, finally got to that. In your links panel, there's my links. I want to next go into the Angels ad, edit it. So in there I will again go to edit, check spelling. And just go through everything to make sure it's correct. And foundation was not. Let me go back in, start over again. Foundation, change foundation. Everything is complete. Say done. Save the file. Close it. And the correct format should pull right in. So foundation in there is again correct. So you can save this. The next step is to do pre-flighting and packaging. We've already talked about packaging these files up and getting a folder that has all of the links and everything like that so you can turn them in. We end up putting off checking for errors until right before we want to send this to the printer, when we can very easily do this before we have gotten that far. We can have active checking done as we're building a file. This thing down here that says no errors is how we access our pre-flighting. Pre-flighting is that step that we did right before packaging. So we're going to open up the pre-flight panel, and right now we can see it says there's no error. It says basic working. It's checking to make sure there are no errors, but at this point we don't know what it's checking because we haven't defined anything. So we're going to go to the options menu, define profile, and we're going to add a new profile, and it's going to be specifically for this ARAA. We're now going to set up parameters so that the program itself will alert us if we put in something that has the wrong color space, or if there's a link that is missing, or if we have text that's not fitting in a text box. We can set all of that up to be alerted. So we're going to start under General, expand that if it'll let you, and we can just replace that type with Verify Newsletter for 4-Color Press. That's just stating what we're doing with this. We are going to make sure that we are notified if there are links missing. We don't need to worry about URL links. This is for print. We don't have anything active for that. Under color, we are going to check our color space and modes not allowed, and expand that. And we want to know if there's an RGB or a spot color being applied. We can collapse that. Under images and objects, we want to check for image resolution options, And we want our minimum resolutions for color images to be 300 ppi. The same thing for grayscale images. And we want anything that's like solid black images, those line art type images, we want those to be 1200 ppi. Then we can collapse images and objects and go to text. We need to check that we have missing fonts and overset text checked. And then in document, we're going to check the number of pages, and we're going to require that there be exactly 2. Then we can say OK to save the profile. Now that we have defined the issues that we know are going to be arrows, we can check our file. So now we're going to change our profile to the ARAA check, and we're going to come up with a whole laundry list of errors. First, we're going to see that there are some errors in the color. We want to go to this text frame, so if you just click on the page 1, it's going to take us and highlight the text frame that's got the issue. We're showing that we have that blue fill, so we're going to go into our swatches and look at our Pantone color, and here we will see that that Pantone color is actually a spot color. So if we right click and get swatch options, we can change this from a spot color to being CMYK, and then change the color type to process. That will clear that from the pre-flight. While we're in there, click off to deselect, but since we're in here, right click, get your swatch options. We don't want to change the color, but we do want to change this as well to a CMYK process color, and that will clear up so that the only problems now that we have left are that one image. In Highlight July TIFF, we're going to look in the Links panel and select go into your CMYK folder, find Highlight July CMYK, and change to that image, and that's going to clear up our RGB issue. Let's see. Expanding the images and objects, we'll see that Spotlight Add PDF is a problem. Going to that and looking at it, we can see that the size of it is not what we were hoping for, but it's an image that was provided for us by the client, and we have no control over it. Therefore, we'll save the file, and then we'll be able to create the job package. As we've done before, you go to File, Package, and as we normally would, you would copy the links. I don't need the fonts. Update the links, include the PDF, and you can then package this, and you would go in then and zip it to send it.